Hey friends, so I am going to show you a different way that you can convert your um, answers if you don't have that anchor chart where it shows you which decimal, how many places over to the right or to the left to use it. So I kind of like to call this like the fence post method because it kind of looks like the fence post, and you'll see that in a minute. So we've already went over this once, but I already know that each little block is worth 5 millimeters. So I went ahead and wrote that on the top of each one, and then I added them all up, so I knew that it was 135 milliliters. But if you look at your conversions right here, none of them have the option to go from millimeters to centimeters. You can go from meters to centimeters. So that means we've got to do a little bit of like a two-step conversion. So I'm going to show you how I like to do it. This just makes it a little bit easier for me, and I think it makes it easier for me to understand. So first, we're going to start out writing what we have that we're trying to convert. So we have 135 milliliters. And then you're going to draw this you're going to draw a line, and then it's going to go like this. So we're trying to get to our centimeters because that is what our answer, they want our answer in centimeters. So that is our end goal, okay? So I'm like, okay, well, how do I even get to centimeters? So first, right here, it says meters to centimeters. So that means that I need to take my millimeters and go to meters, okay? So I need to put that conversion down. So 1,000 would go on the bottom because my units have to cancel out each other. So you have to have them on the opposite end. So see how I have this millimeter here and the millimeters here? So they'll cancel out each other because 1 meter is equal to 1,000 millimeters. Okay? But I'm still not done. I've got to do a little bit more because I'm trying. If I stopped right here, my answer would be in meters because my 2 millimeters cancel each other out. So then my answer would be in meters. But that's not what we want. We want our answer in centimeters. So we need to do another post. So now I need to figure out, well, how do I get from this meters to centimeters? So, well, I know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So I'm going to put my 1 meter at the bottom because remember, I'm trying to get rid of those meters. I don't want meters anymore. I want centimeters. Now I'm going to put my centimeters up here on top. So that means my answer will be left in centimeters. Okay? So I ran out a little bit of room, so I'm going to come down here. So what this means is whatever numbers are on top, so this 135 and the 100, whatever's on top in the 1, you have to multiply all of those, okay? So we are going to multiply all of these numbers first, and I like to do the multiplication first. I'll just put a little multiplication sign so I know that I'm doing that. So we know that 135 times 1 is still 135. And then if we multiply that by 100, remember, we're just going to move our decimal over 2 places to the right because it's getting bigger. So that means my decimal would go over 2 places because there's 2 zeros. So now that means that I have 13,500. Okay, but don't forget we have to do something with this 1,000. We're going to divide. So we'll put a little division symbol so we know that we're going to divide this bottom part. So now if I have my 13,500, you're probably thinking, well, I might have to do long division for that, but you don't have to. Remember, our decimal point is right here at the end. And if we're dividing by 1,000, we just have to move that over 3 decimal places to the left because we're dividing and it's getting smaller. So we go over 1, 2, and 3. So that means that our answer is going to be 13.5. So 13 and 5/10 centimeters. So we went all the way from millimeters, and then we went back to meters, and then we canceled out those meters and got it into our answer that we wanted of centimeters. Okay? So that is how you would do one. And that one's a little bit tricky because it's not just one step. We had, this was our first step, and then this was our second step. So we had to do a little bit more than what you might in some other ones. So I want to look at this one down here, which is a little bit simpler, but how you can do the same thing even with one like this. So let's see, hold on, let me change the color. So it wants us to go from liters to milliliters. And when we look at our conversions, well, we know that we can go from liters to milliliters. It tells us right here. But sometimes it might be tricky to say, okay, well, am I dividing or am I multiplying? Like, you just might forget, or you might just want to check your work. I like to double check, even if I think I know what I'm going to do. So I know that this is what we are starting out with. So that is going to be my first thing on our fence post. So I'm going to write 6 8/10 of a liter. And then I'm going to draw my fence post. And then we're going to milliliters, okay? So, but we have to cancel out our liters. So I already know that liters are going to go down here, and milliliters are going to go up here. So if I look back over here at my conversions, we're looking at this top one. We don't have to worry about the bottom one because we're not doing anything with kiloliters. I know that it's going to be 1 down here, and then 1,000 up here. So if you remember from up there, sorry my handwriting's not that great, we have to remember where we're going to multiply. So remember, on top we multiply, on the bottom we divide. Okay, so I like to do my stuff up top first. So I'm going to do 6 8/10 times 1,000. Well, if I do that over here, 6 8/10, and I'm doing that by 1,000, my number's going to get bigger because we're multiplying. When you multiply, it's going to get bigger. So I have 3 zeros, so that means I'm going to move my decimal place over 3 spots. So 1, 2, 3. Don't forget, you got to add your zeros in. So now we have 6,800. That's a comma right there, not a decimal point. Sorry, it kind of looks like a decimal, but it's 6,800. And then we would have to divide by 1. Well, when you divide that by 1, you're still going to get your same thing, because when you divide something by 1, it's the same thing. So 6,800. So we can still use that method when we're doing a one-step conversion. So you can see how you would use it for a two-step conversion up here, but you can also use it for a one-step conversion down here. If you have any questions or you want to know more about it, or you have an example problem that you want to do, drop a little comment and we'll walk through it.